Hi everybody, you're listening to the Khandan podcast by the You Podcast team, a bi-weekly podcast revisiting the movies of Amir Khan, Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan.
Every show we pick a random year from 3 decades of collectively 300 films the Khans have done and let our listeners vote which movie we should talk about. So it's entirely up to you.
Pick a team, make a vote, take us down nostalgia lane, punish us, or make us reassess a movie we dismissed.
We love the Khans, most of us, sometimes. And we would love for you all to be part of our Khandan, because when it comes to the Khans in Bollywood, nothing else really matters.
Now, I was just going to say, because we watched Mela on YouTube, I imagine all of us, and now this has screwed up my YouTube algorithm for 6 months. I'm going to get Dushman Papi and Khoon Ka Pyasa and Lohar Ka Loha for months on end now,
Don't try to put on some airs, okay, Asim? I'm pretty sure your YouTube algorithm was that pehle se. That's probably all you watch.
I'm adding everything. I'm a watch later. So, Pitu, we're making you watch Mela on this episode.
Yes.
This is, by the way, all Sujoy's fault. Me and Amrita were not consulted in any of this process.
No. So we were thinking about who should we bring on for the guest for the next episode, and I just randomly thought yes, Mela has been having this sort of reputation that precedes itself. It's kind of the shit movie that nobody talks about, but everybody knows about it. And I had never watched Mela, but growing up, I knew the songs and stuff, and there was just this hype about how shit it is, and I definitely knew that there was a lot of fun to be had with this movie, and I was like, yeah, this should be an episode with Pitu.
Nice. I went through all sorts of emotions, I have to tell you guys, while with Mela. So I got up at 7 a.m. because I procrastinated till the last minute to watch it. So the podcast recording is at 10. I woke up at 7, and while brushing my teeth, I started Mela on YouTube. And the first scenes are happening while I'm making my tea. So literally I put it off till the very last moment. And in the beginning, I think maybe it was just that I just gotten up and I was still sleep-addled and, stuff. So initially I was first 10 minutes, I was maybe it's not that bad. I mean, I feel like this has potential. This could go somewhere. And then by the time I'd had my first mug of tea and, some of that caffeine had hit me and my brain cells had started waking up, I was like, no, this is definitely very bad, and I don't know why I'm watching this at 8 in the morning. And by the time I had my second mug of tea and I was fully awake, I was like, this movie is shit, and I'm reconsidering all my friendships right now.
Had you seen Mela before?
Would you judge me if I said I've seen it twice during my teenage years? My wayward youth.
I mean, you draw the line at Imtiaz Ali's Tamasha, but you would definitely watch Mela twice.
Listen, I was an adolescent, and adolescent brains do not develop until 21. It's science, okay?
And Koila is a good movie, Mela is a bad movie. That's also something we established before this call.
I mean, have you seen Shah Rukh's hair in Koila? How dare you call it a bad movie?
Amrita, what do I do with this?
No, I'd forgotten the movie started and the credit sequence where she's crying, Mela dilon ka ek bahar aata hai. It's 4 minutes long for no good reason, and I'd forgotten all about it. And then as I was watching the credits, I was like, oh my god, it's all coming back to me. I've only seen this once, but once was enough. But so this movie came out so Dharmesh Darshan made this movie, and it was this movie came out in January, and it was supposed to be this giant hit, and then it flopped miserably. And then in August of the same year, he came out with Dhadkan, which is
the movie in which Shilpa Shetty, who is married to hot stud Akshay Kumar, is pining for Sunil Shetty.
So the funny thing is, like, I sometimes listen to that Dulhe Ka Sehra Suhana Lagta Hai song. And like it starts off with like the Shehnai, and in the middle of the Shehnai, like you can hear Sunil Shetty's voice go, "Mom."
Wait, what? He says meow?
No, his mother dies at the beginning of that song.
Was it his mom? I thought you said in the middle he goes meow.
So by the way, like the Dhadkan's soundtrack is one of those like. It almost feels like a throwback when you go back and listen, because it's the only one where you have like a dialogue accompanying the beginning of the song. So there's like a prelude to the song where these characters are having a dialogue exchange and then the song starts.
That's what I was going to ask. Because back in the day, you used to have these soundtracks where you would have the song and then in the middle you have some dialogue or some poetry even. Is there not like a song where like Sunil Shetty is doing poetry? Does that not exist? I have like a memory of this.
Sunil Shetty doing poetry?
Yeah, like,
jump off a cliff
in the middle of the song. Does that not exist? Is this like a fever dream?
He can barely say a dialogue, like much as poetry in the middle of a song. I don't know. You're probably correct, because this was a thing. I do remember this being a thing, but I don't remember Sunil Shetty doing it.
I think it was like Ajay Devgan in Dilwale or something.
Yeah, he's guaranteed. He has such a Rotlu following on TikTok. I didn't even know. Like all of these like poor people crying in the villages, they look like Ajay Devgan, and they're like, "Tu chhod ke chali gayi, main ye kar dunga, main wo kar dunga, jala dunga, raak kar dunga." Like it's all that kind of like. He appeals to a certain audience, like on TikTok. Like they all look the same, and I would be sad if I look like Ajay Devgan, right? Like I would be Rotlu, you know.
I mean, he has a face tailor-made for a gutka advertisement.
What the hell?
Have you seen his teeth, Amrita?
No, I have not.
Exactly. Those are gutka advertisement teeth.
Vimal Ilaichi.
Yeah.
Things got... They're a classist podcast right now.
Yeah, things got derailed really quickly, as usual.
I've forgotten just how bad an actress Twinkle Khanna is. Like she seems to be a perfectly fine human being, like in real life, but on film she has this sort of reptilian asshole person, like vibe to her, like no matter what movie she's doing. But in this movie, she's like dialed it up to like 11 billion. Like, I'm just like, what is wrong? And like, I remember like Pitu saying, you know, like this movie is just Twinkle's heaving bosoms. And I was like, I remember her bosoms in this film, but like, I don't remember it being that heavy. Like, surely Pitu's like exaggerating. But I had not seen this movie twice like Pitu. So Pitu remembers it much better than I do.
But
and it is true, this movie is all about her heaving
bosoms. But this movie is about everybody's heaving bosoms. That part I had not remembered. Like, you know, like...
But I think that's the brief from Dharmesh Darshan. That everybody has to have their bosoms heaving.
Yeah.
Including the villain. Including the villain.
I think this is called directorial vision. Like, you have a vision. This is
so it. In the beginning song, right? So there are like the title credits of whoever is doing the cinematography and the editing. There is a credit to Sunil Darshan for story idea.
Oh.
Like Dharmesh Darshan and Neeraj Vora get like screenplay and writing and all of that, but story idea is Sunil Darshan. So it's basically, the story is basically a rehashed Sholay, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe you said Sholay.
What is wrong with you?
Tumko paap lagega.
But is it not?
It is. It totally is.
Basanti and Thakur are the same person. Jay and Viru exist. And there is a Badlaka story, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like this trope, right? It's like a cinematic trope from the start. Like, you get like a bunch of outlaws to protect a village. Like, it's been done, you know, in Seven Samurai, Sholay, Farishte, Karan Arjun, Kimat, Three Amigos. You know, all of these movies, they all have the same set. Yeah, Three Amigos.
And then there's Mela.
So it's all... but the difference is, you get an outlaw, you get a criminal, you get a cop, you get a hitman. In Mela, they get a truck driver. So that's already the directorial vision that we're talking about. First of all,
the directorial division begins with the title song, and then we cut to Durga Hai Meri Maa. Man, my head is stuck in that. Tanvi Azmi and Durga and Rupa and Gopal. Durga Hai Meri Maa.
Gopal was seriously creepy, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So extra.
He was so creepy.
So extra. Also so extra. They put way too much Milo or ecstasy in his Milo or something like that. By the way, just to kind of get back to the title song, because I have to talk about this. Anu Malik really believed in this song. He really thought he had some sort of classic Sandese Aate Hain or something. There's 5 reiterations of the same song, and it's supposed to be motivational, and it's supposed to be sad, and it's supposed to be nationalistic, and a lot of things happening in this one song. But I love the first one because they try to style Twinkle Khanna like one of those old-timey heroines that you guys like Nargis or Mala Sinha or one of those ladies.
You guys.
Yeah, those ladies. I don't even know which one.
Everybody is turning in their grave right now when you made the comparison.
But what I really in my memory, I thought it was some major mela, the mela of it was something major. But it's not. It's some gaon ka mela that they just totally make up. They're hum mela rakhenge. And then the entire movie is just called Mela. And then there's that Mela comes twice. And they're just Mela ek baar aata hai is the entire song.
Because Mela is metaphor for life, Amrita. Are you not understanding? Mela is metaphor for life. So there is life before Gujjar and life after Gujjar. That's why the Mela only comes twice.
Wow.
तुम
लोग को ना philosophy समझती नहीं है.
Okay.
Much deep.
Now that the name has come up, I need to ask you these questions. Clearly, this is supposed to be Sholay, right? So Gujjar is supposed to be Gabbar, right?
Right.
But they felt Gabbar, but he needs to be sexier. I think that's what they were going for, right?
Ew.
Gabbar, but hairier.
Yeah, but the thing is
hairier is correct.
I saw in the trivia section, they were supposed to cast Aditya Pancholi to do Gujjar. But when Aditya heard that the whole role is bare-chested, he said, no, I don't want to do this. So again,
really?
Directorial vision. This bare-chestedness was in an initial part of this. And then I think, doesn't Aditya Pancholi have light eyes? Is that a thing? Or so that's
he does for sure.
So that's why they put these contact lenses in Gujjar, and those contact lenses got him so infected. His eyes are burning. I wear contact lenses. When that guy needs eye drops, and Mela has everything. It has no pharmacy clearly. He needs some eye drops. He's gonna lose an eye, man.
But question for Asim though, on the scale of Bobby Deol to Salman Khan, where do you rate Gujjar's nipples?
Yes. So the Gujjar nipples, this is a talking point in my notes. They're inverted, right? I mean, I don't want to body shame anybody.
Really? Are they? I have to go and see this again.
They go to the inside. They go to the inside because they're so embarrassed to be on the outside.
Or they heaved so much they collapsed.
But it's a choice.
Did this guy ever act again, or did he just do this one film?
No, he jumped off a cliff after this movie was released.
Yeah. So
he's an action director.
So this guy has no photo on IMDb. That's how his career went. He has no photo on IMDb.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that when I entered Mela in the YouTube search box, it told me Super Hit 99 film Mela. And I was like, Super Hit? Kahan se? Kisne ye likha hai?
So in the comment section of this film, like on YouTube, you'll find all the delusional Aamir fans that have ever lived, because they're all like, you know what went wrong with this film? This film came out 1 week before Kaho Na Pyar Hai. If it had come 2 months later, it would have been super hit. Oh my God. What planet would this have been a super hit?
So, Twinkle Khanna just like bet her whole career on this movie, right? So she was also as delusional back then.
I mean,
you would think like she was well read and everything, and she was part of the industry, but she had her bets placed on this movie, and she was like, "I'm not gonna marry Akshay if this movie turns out to be a big hit and my career, takes off." And it didn't, and then just she got married after that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was this movie.
Yeah. But like, I always got the impression, like a slightly different impression, which was that she already knew that she was shit. Like, everybody knew she was shit, and she knew she was shit. So she was like, well, I'll just give this one big, one big swing. And then, and it's with Aamir. It's like a big project. This was a movie that Dharmesh Darshan and Aamir were making after Raja Hindustani. So it was like, and Raja Hindustani had pretty much changed Karishma's life.
Yeah.
So I think they were like, she was like actually waiting to see if that would happen for her. And when it came out, she was like, okay, bye. Yeah. I'm gonna go marry somebody rich, and that'll be Akshay.
Although I don't even think he was that rich at that time. No? I don't think he, like,
no, but she, I think, like, she definitely, like she's a smart cookie, like, like Twinkle, like, she's from the industry, but she, like, really knows, like, from everything that Karan Johar talks about her all the time, like, I think she, like, really knew what she wanted in life, and, like, she was, like...
Because I don't think Akshay would have been as successful as he was if he hadn't married Twinkle Khanna. So this Mela did bring us a few
Really?
things.
Why do you say that? I think Akshay would definitely have made it. No, you don't think so?
No, I think
at that time... Wait, I'll let you say your thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you look at the career of Akshay before his marriage and after his marriage, clearly he was making very different choices. And I do not think those choices were being made by Akshay, but they were being made by Twinkle Khanna.
So why didn't Twinkle make those same choices for herself then?
Because she's a bad actress. So even if she makes those good choices, she will remain a bad actress in good movies. So, and I think she was just done at that time. She clearly has no talent. And I do find it funny that Amrita is saying, I forgot she was a bad actress, because we did review another movie with her not too long ago with Salman Khan, where we also made fun of her.
No, I remember she's a bad actress. I forgot she was this bad an actress. Like, this is way worse than...
Her dialogue delivery was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it was just always like histrionic.
Yeah, but I think that is Dharmesh Darshan. I don't think that's actually Twinkle. Yeah. I think that's completely Dharmesh Darshan.
You can't say Sarvanash without saying Sarvanash. Oh my God! So much Born Vita.
That clip that you posted on Twitter, Sujoy, of like her on the temple step.
देखो धरूपा, तेरे मसीहा तेरे साथ थे और तूने उन्हें पहचाना नहीं. देख, यही तो वो दो हैं जो तेरी बर्बादी का बदला तेरे लिए लेंगे रूपा. यही तो वो राह है जो माँ ने तुझे दी है. लेकिन ये तेरे लिए कुछ क्यों करेंगे रूपा? इस संसार में बेमतलब कोई किसी के लिए कुछ नहीं करता. ये तेरे लिए तब कुछ करेंगे जब तो इनके साथ रिश्ता जोड़ेगी. आज तक तेरी खूबसूरती तेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा श्राप थी. आज से यही तेरा सबसे बड़ा हथियार बनेगी. उधर देख किशन, आशिक दीवाना महबूब, तू मोहब्बत का जाल फेंकेगी और वो खिंचा चलाएगा. और उधर देख शंकर, दोस्त हम सफर हम साया हम साथी. अब इन दोनों मर्दों की मिली जुली ताकत ही तुझे तेरी मंजिल तक पहुंचाएगी लड़की. दुर्गा है मेरी माँ, अम्बे है मेरी.
As she ties her hair.
that scene like cracked me up so much. Oh my god. But also like the three people, okay, let's talk about the other two. We have talked about Twinkle quite a bit, but like let's talk about Aamir and Faisal, because like all three of them are in like totally different movies.
I must say though, like Dharmesh Darshan really wanted to push Faisal Khan to be like someone to be like at least the Shashi Kapoor of this generation.
Did you say Faisal and Shashi in the same sentence? तुमको पाप लगेगा.
नहीं मतलब धर्मेश दर्शन की नजरों से. I'm not saying.
No,
I wanted Faisal to hit me.
This movie was definitely made to, because Faisal Khan's first movie bombed really badly, and I remember the interviews that Aamir was giving at that time, and he was like, Faisal na action mein bahut acha hai. So he kept saying that, and I think that's what they wanted to kind of relaunch him as like us zamane ka Tiger Shroff. You know, that's what they were trying to do.
So I thought that he was actually being positioned as like a junior Sunny Deol, actually.
Right, yeah.
I actually got that vibe as well, especially because I'm like the biggest Sunny Deol fan on the planet, and there were numerous times where mera khoon khol raha tha, because I was like, Faisal, you ain't shit. You ain't Sunny Deol. Stop it right now. He was like totally copying my idol. It was very infuriating.
So if anybody out there wanted to know what the Sunny fandom was, it's the whole of Punjab and then Pitu.
But like,
baby.
So when Twinkle was like on Karan, Coffee with Karan, and she like made a lot of fun about Mela and how, you know, that movie was, whatever it was, and she like also mocked how her, you know, name was being called and all the histrionics, etc. And then I think Dharmesh Darshan went on like Bollywood Hangama, and he was quite, you know, upset about that episode, and then he was like, oh, that movie brings me back like really fond memories of how much we kind of pushed Faisal into this movie and didn't work, unfortunately, and all of that. And he was like quite upset that Twinkle Khanna would make fun about the movie because he still have fond memories of making it. Oh well.
Yeah, so this killed Twinkle's career, killed Faisal's career, killed Gujjar's career, but this also was the relaunch of Aamir Khan. This movie and Mann, both of these kind of came one after the other, and this made Aamir into the Aamir I know and love now. You know?
Oh, you know and love now. Sure. Also, I'd like to point out that both, like, Mela was a super flop and so was Mann. Like, both of them were, like, terrible movies that, like, flopped. So I don't really understand where Asim is getting this from. This is like so indicative of like Asim's Aamir fandom, where he's just like making shit up as he goes along, and he's like, now this is canon, and meanwhile everybody else is like, what are you talking about?
No, because there were like hints, like with Ghulam and Sarfarosh, there were like hints of what he wanted to do later on. And I think there was something about like the industry catching up with what he want, like the kind of movies he wanted to make. And I think we've kind of established with Aamir, like the more he detached himself from being like a leading man, the more it became better for the movies. And I think then, like, you know, immediately it was Lagan, Dil Chahta Hai, and Rang De Basandi, Mangal Pandey, that kind of thing that came afterwards. And I think, like, you cannot deny, like, you know, Lagan or Mela. There's like a vastly difference between how the industry was at that time. You could not make Lagan 5 years before, right? Like, it would not have worked that way. I think there's something
Asim, Mela was in 2000 and Lagan was in 2001. It's like...
And Dil Chahta Hai was also in 2001.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There was like a shift that happened. I'm not saying that Aamir caught the curve more than anybody else, but like Mela has already died. This is like 80s movie making, and this was kind of like the last tries, you know. And Aamir tried, and it did not work whatsoever. And he was like, I ain't doing this shit anymore. I want to do something else. That's how I see it, at least.
Okay, that way. So you're saying that this was basically like him trying to play by the rules one last time, and then he was like, this is shit. And then he does.
Yeah, and I think
it
also
made him like reevaluate his choices. I guess like what the fuck am I doing? You know.
And I also really think he wanted to relaunch Faisal more than anything. Like he really wanted to do that. And I think even like the way he's almost playing like the little brother to Faisal in this movie, right? He's playing like the Dharmender role, like he's playing the Amitabh role in Sholay, if you're still using that analogy. But yeah, and they're trying to, you know, put him in a good light. They're shooting him well. Apparently they worked on his look. They cut off his hair. They made him like pump up his muscles. And like every time he's standing like very chora, you know, like, so they try with what they could. But like with Twinkle Khanna, when like the base is just not there, you cannot rework shit into a statue, you know.
So we go back to Durga Hai Meri Maa.
I did not want to accept this on the podcast. I was like going to like keep it chori chupe, like just to myself. But I actually thought Faisal was quite good looking, and I thought he did a pretty good job of like the strong, silent, grumpy, curmudgeonly but hot guy. Am I the only one who is feeling this way?
Yes.
This also explains your Sunny Deol fandom. I feel like this, like.
Well, first I was infuriated because I was like, why are you copying Paji? And then it kind of like grew on me. I was kind of like, okay, you're like Garibo ka Paji, but like I'll take you. It's fine. No, I thought he was quite good looking and acted decently, I thought.
There's like something about his jaw, like his mouth and his jaw. It just makes him look like Sunny Deol, but like Cro-Magnon Sunny Deol.
Yeah. Or Garibo ka Sunny Deol.
Like there's this, it's just off to me. Like the mannerisms and everything, it's so Sunny Deol. I just don't get it.
And also like one big thing that I noticed that he cannot playback sing. Like all the playback, like he does not have the experience. So like whenever he in like Kamariya Lachkere or whatever, when he's or Chori Chori Chuke, Chori Chori Hum Gori Se Pyar Karenge. That's like in both of those songs when he's trying to playback sing, it's just not working for me, and that's a big dissociation for me, you know.
Oh, can I talk about that song for a second? The Kamariya Lachkere.
Of course. We are all for here.
I was gonna say no, but
so my one memory of Mela is actually that song, because before the movie came out, I remember like the one piece of marketing that really stuck with me was that they kept saying that this particular song is basically an homage to Asha Parekh's Daiyare song from Karwa. Which I don't know if you guys have seen Karwa, but it's like a really fun, like Asha Parekh,
Jitendra,
yeah, exactly. It has like a banging soundtrack. If anybody out there, if you haven't heard the Karwa or Caravan, like however you want to say it, soundtrack, you should really listen to it because it has like amazing songs. And there's this really fun stage performance that Asha Parekh does, and it's pretty much the same setup as the one in Mela, in that like Asha Parekh like ends up on the run and she lands up on stage and she's trying to hide from these guys who are like hunting her, and she has to give this stage performance,
you know, as one does
and but the difference is like in Karma, it's like a fun song, you know, like she's playing like cat and mouse with these people. She's she does this sort of, she's like wearing too many clothes and then it gets ripped off her, but like not in a creepy striptease kind of way, but in like a fun way. And then she's like a good dancer, and like she and Jeetu have all this chemistry and it's fun. And I was like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this song. Like I want to see this song. And it turned out, okay, this movie is so rapey. I don't know why. Like every single thing is like, क्या हुआ? रेप हुआ. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? रेप हुआ. वहाँ पे क्या हुआ? रेप हुआ. Like it's like everywhere you turn, it's like rapey. And even this one, like, you know, she's like, oh, I can't dance. And Faisal is like, मैं देखता हूँ तू कैसे नहीं डांसती. And I'm just like,
it's so interesting that you are bringing up Karma, because Karma was actually made by the director Nasir Hussain, who, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that Amir Khan's chacha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the apple does fall very, 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 very far from the tree.
Yeah, I mean, like, this movie is almost like on a B-grade cinema kind of level. Like, they have cast members from all Ramsay brothers, like supporting cast members. You know, the guy who plays the Bhoot or the Pret in Samri and Purani Haveli, he's playing that Kali Daku, right?
Yeah.
And they keep calling him Adimanav or something, which is just so dehumanizing. I just felt so sorry for the guy.
And also, like, the whole Rupa thing is basically, what is it? The Shashi Kapoor movie, Zenith Aman movie, Satyam Shivam Sundaram.
Yeah.
It's basically that. It's like Rupa in her little, like, like a revealing gown ki gori dress. Like, the rest of the gown is all dressed like normal people, and then Rupa is like walking around in basically a bikini top and like a skirt.
I mean, she is the Atwa Ajuba of the gown. So.
There's that part where she goes back and like Tanvi Azmi is like gone mad from grief, and then she's just like, Rupa, tera roop hai duniya ka ajuba. Just like, what the hell?
Oh, the Gao is like on a different level of crazy, man.
I know.
Like the Mukhiya, Asrani.
The Gao has everybody, right? They have one Muslim and he has one line. He says Ameen when they get married. That's it. He's like waiting for that moment, It's like when you have like in like one of those big orchestras, you have the triangle and you can do ting one time. His ting is like Ameen once and that's it.
I actually
see, that's also not to Sholay, right? The one Muslim is playing AK Hangal.
Yeah, but he got the whole speech like kitna sannata hai. He got Ameen, like what is this? And then you have like Tara, who, because this Tara Johnny Lever romance was also from Raja Hindustani too, right? They have this,
Ghanta bajne wala scene.
Yeah, and this whole thing of Tara is not like a real woman, but oh my god, she is a woman, and then she has like double braids because now some Johnny Lever has seen her femininity. I think also that's a trope from Raja Hindustani, right?
No, all these characters are basically stock Dharmesh Darshan people. Like, you'll see them in Dhadkan, you'll see them...
Oh, they were in Dhadkan as well?
Yeah, all these people. And then also that other movie, the one with Akshay and Bebo, and Anil Kapoor, like she's married to... No, she's married to Anil Kapoor, but Bewafa, yeah. They're in Bewafa as well. They're like all these people.
The thing I want to hear, like the first part is like the first time the song happens, like Mela Dilon Ka Aata Hai, and they introduce all of these characters, right? Tara is in there, and like Ayub Khan is there. It's Ayub Khan, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Ayub Khan's only claim to fame is that song from Salami, right? Chehra Kyun Dekhte Ho. That's it, right? That's him, no?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was the peak of his career.
Also, Salma Pe Dil Aa Gaya, right?
Oh, yes.
That was great.
Yeah. And
that was my favorite song as a teenager.
Which song? Salma Pe Dil Aa Gaya or the movie?
Salma Pe Dil Well, I like the movie also.
Okay. I don't know. I just know Chehra Kya Dekhte Ho. That's the only thing I know about him. But like, so they have this whole singing, dancing, nationalistic thing in the thing. I don't understand why Mela is necessarily nationalistic, but they invite Kulbharshan Kalbanda as the minister. And
then they shoot him.
Then Gajjar shoots him. And I was like, A, was he entertained by this song? And B, this is the last song in his life that he got to hear. Like, isn't there like an inherent tragedy there? Like,
But like Tiku Talsania, who's the Mukhiya of the village, he's like, Aiye Mantriji, and that just carries on for like whole 5 minutes. Yeah. That's like a one-take shot, Yeah. And Aiye Mantriji, and Viru Krishnan is dancing in front of him like crazy. Like, from the moment he gets off his car till the time he gets to sit down, Viru Krishnan is dancing, and there's Kathakali dancers and Kuchipudi dancers and Dandiya dancers. Oh my god, what is this movie?
So immediately Ayub Khan gets killed, right? And people, like, there's this thing, like, people call me bhai. Like, it's a thing that happens. Like, I don't know, it's just a natural rhythm people have with me. So I take offense with the kind of bhai Ayub Khan is. Because he is the worst bhai there is ever in the world. Like, like when somebody's trying to rape your sister, you do not shoot warning shots. You do not like shoot him in the shoulder, shoot in the air, shoot in the damn head. That's what you do, motherfucker. First of all. And second of all, the only thing he does is get a mangetar for Rupa, right? So why is Rupa's
who is also a rapey mangetar, by the way?
A rapey mangetar. Like, two things in this bhai needs to do.
Rapey and drunk.
What he is the worst bhai, and I was like happy he got tortured and killed. I have to be honest. Like, he deserved to be killed, and I also think Gopal deserved to be killed because such a young kid should not be having sexual feelings for such an older lady. Like, it's not proper, especially
like the
mandir.
The whole Gao just laughs it off.
Yeah. Because, like, he's, like, jumping on her back and, like, they're, like, you know, swinging back and forth like Ambe Hai Meri Ma. Like, this kid is not right. Like, this is not... This should not be happening in a mandir.
I do not have children and I generally stay away from children. So I'm not familiar really with child psychology. But would you say that this is abnormal perhaps or no? It is?
What do you mean? Like, these feelings are not abnormal. Like this, like Rupa should have been aware of these things and nipped it in the bud. Like, this is Rupa, you're not doing right things here. Like, teri jawani aur tera roop.
But her khubsurti is the biggest shrap, remember?
It is. It's such a big shrap, right?
Okay, so now we have to talk about the inevitable. Like, you know, it was coming. From the moment that Amir went into the water, I was like, this is coming. This is going to happen. And then it came out of the water and I was like, look! Even his panties go up to his armpits. Like, it's a fucking disease. Like, you know, it isn't until, like, he meets Kiran Rao, I swear to God, that he learns where to put his pants and his underpants. Like,
so we see two pairs of underpanties in this movie, right? We see Amir's and we see Gujjar's. Would you interchange them, Amrita, or would you like it the way it is? Like, if you can choose.
So Gujjar's is marginally better. That is how bad. Like, he's physically repulsive and even he wears it better than Amir. Like, it is just insane.
And you know, Amir, he probably went through like 50 chaddis to pick that one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see what the other chaddis were.
Like, this one is too big, this one is too tight, this one is too short.
This one's just right.
He's like,
that's not what he said. He was like, Teri jaat ka beda, ye chaddi mujhe nahi chahiye.
Okay, we need to discuss about what the does Teri jaat ka baida maru means.
Seriously, I have no idea.
I was hoping you guys would explain this to me.
So I know that beda, I think the beda thing is like about making an omelette out of eggs. So I get that. But how do you make an omelette out of human beings? Huh?
Oh. Isn't that bhurta? Like an omelette with egg?
No. Beda is another word for egg. So beda... And then remember Rangila, he had that line where he goes into that, he goes for a date with Urmila and they're in that little restaurant and he yells at the waiter, he's like, hey, beda kari, mundi idhar kar. Mundi, of course, being fan ka mundi. So he calls that person beda kari, which is egg curry. So teri jaat ka beda karunga means he's going to make omelette out of someone. But jaat is caste, so how is he going to make... That's very confusing to me.
I think it's a Mithun dialogue, right? I think it's a throwback to that. It's from a Mithun movie.
But
really?
Also, he's also calling Rupa, he's calling her
Choti.
Choti. What does that mean?
Choti.
Like,
Yeah, what does
chorni,
that
is that chorni? Like, Choti, isn't that like a...
I think that's what it's supposed to be, but like, I've literally never heard like half the words that Amir uses. Like, I'm a native level like Hindi speaker, and I was just like, am I really like the whole time that I'm
But Amrita, you're not from the gaon he's from, na?
That's probably
they speak their own special dialect where all the men are racy.
His English flavored Hindi is just next level, like always shucking on me, shucking here, shucking.
Which is also a Raja Hindustani affectation that I thought, like, this you come madam, this is good, let's do this times 100 in Mela, right? So yeah, I think that's what they were probably going for. I do also like that they made the whole movie and they said, no, it needs a Dekho Zamana Aage. It needs a millennium song as the entry point for Aamir Khan.
Can I tell you, like, I forgot that song existed, and I forgot that song existed in this movie. Yeah. So when it came on screen, I actually like made a sound. Like, I made a noise. I could not believe what I was watching. I could not believe what I was hearing. Like, it was amazing.
And it was weird, like, to have Hariharan and Leslie Lewis sing the song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where that features in like Aamir Khan's filmography. Like,
I think this is like an item song. This is an item song with him being an item in it, right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. But I also felt it was so Shamak Davar, that whole setup, like it felt very like, what's that?
Dil to pagal hai.
Yeah, Le Gai, right?
Right.
Yeah,
actually, some of Aamir's steps and his costumes are also reminiscent of the one in Man. What was that? Kali Nagin ki jaisi zulfe teri kali kali. With those same weird, like, pouty expressions he makes.
Was that the remake of that Turkish song? Is that what they copied?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite song of the soundtrack?
I think I like that Chori Chori Hum Gori Se Pyar Karenge, but the reason for that is different. It's because if you guys remember in ancient times when we had a president called Barack Obama, well, he was still a senator at that point, and someone had made a video that went completely viral, and in that they had like gifs of Obama set to this song, and all the American people I knew were like, what is this song? What is this song? What is this song? What is this song? And I was just like smirking. I was like, you sad people, you don't know, tumko ye gana nahi pata. And they were like, no, what is this song? And I was like, this is a song from Mela.
You should watch that movie.
Happy memories. Yeah, it's not like happy memories of Obama and, our lost love.
that song is really cut short, I think. Like they shot it and
I don't know which song that is on its. I don't know which song that is because I must have blinked or like gone to get an apple. I don't. Which song is that even?
No, it gets
at the end.
At the end. You can like right before they bump into Aishwarya, they sing the song.
I thought that was like a song from another movie they were singing. Yeah, that was actually a good song. I thought they were like referring some old movie with Asha Parekh, like you mentioned. No. I didn't even think of Asha Parekh.
It's Udit Narayan singing, right? It's Udit Narayan singing, and that song is also in another like a British production song movie called The Guru with Jimmy Mistry. If you guys remember. Yeah, he does the Macarena to the song. It was so funny. And I think I know the Chori Chori Hum Gori Se Pyar Karenge from The Guru, and then I rediscovered because I hadn't watched Mela. But yeah. How about you, Amrita? What's your favorite song?
So as much as I hate to admit it, like Kamariya Lachkere is a bomb.
Dimpa Chika.
You know what's the funniest part about that song? It's that part where like she's like doing her little like do you remember those bobblehead dolls that we used to have like back in the day? Like not bobblehead, but like those scar doll thingies that like those Hawaii dolls, but like in India we had like Bharatanatyam ones.
Right.
That used to like wobble like the different parts. She's doing like steps like that in the background, and then in the foreground Faisal carries a banjo. That's the world's tiniest banjo. And then Amir is holding something else. And then they crouch down and they start like doing this weird step where they're like squatting down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you guys doing? This is such a mess. Like everything about this is such a mess. But the song is good.
I think the banjo was probably regular size, but his muscles are so big that the banjo looks small. I think that's what's happening.
It was just bad. It was bad.
Okay.
What about you, Yasin?
I want to hear Pitu because actually my song has not gone yet. So I wanted to hear what you thought was. Is it that one also, the Obama song?
Yeah, that Chori Chori is the Obama song. Yeah, I like that one.
Oh, okay.
I know what Sujoy's favorite song is, though. He's gonna lie, but I know what his favorite is.
Okay, I'll tell you the right answer in a bit, but Asim, aap jao pehle.
Okay, mine is like Dhadkan Mein Tum, cause
yeah, mine too.
Okay, so like I was just thinking, like when I was watching this one and the previous one, which was I think Tujhe Rab Ne Banaya or Dil Pukare, I don't even know what it's called. Both of these songs could only happen because this movie is set in a post Rangila world where Urmila has done, like sexified heroines.
Tanha.
Yeah. So the clearly like the Dhadkan Mein Tum is inspired from Hai Rama, right? Like they're in the desert and like Amir is doing the flappy jacket with the bare chested thing that Jackie was doing. Amir got like Jackie got to do this. I need to do this too. But Jackie and Urmila have like this sensuality when they're like panthers looking at each other.
Yeah.
Amir looks like he has rabies. Like he looks like a crazy mad person like in the song. So, I don't know what kind of directorial note it was. He was like, "Yeah, मैंने देखा था Jackie को करते हुए. Let's do the same." And it didn't work.
So in my notes for Dhadkan Mein Tum, I've written big dick energy, and that's for Twinkle.
Oh god. And
like, the thing that like really stuck with me is like Amir in that that little genie of the desert outfit where he's got the earrings and he's like bare chested but his pants are still up there.
And they're like almost in Antonio Banderas and
100%.
Catherine Zeta-Jones' Mask of Zorro kind of environment as well.
Yeah, they rip off some scenes, like, so they steal Mask of Zorro there, but they also stole a joke from Dumb and Dumber earlier in the truck where he's peeing in the bottle. And then Johnny Lever drinks that bottle of pee. That's from Dumb and Dumber. So clearly they were just watching movies, just taking whatever they wanted because there was no rhyme or reason. And like also like the other song, the one at the waterfall, right, where Tujhe Dil Pukare with Twinkle, where she's like dancing with the white dress on, like. She's not Urmila, so it becomes really like I was feeling embarrassed watching it. It's like. Like bhabhi hai, don't do that.
Akshay pakad ke pitega.
Yeah, bhabhi nahi, aaram se baith jao. Don't do that. And the camera really zooms into like body parts and is like, did they ask RGB to shoot this song or something? Or it's awkward, right? I'm getting shivers now just talking about it. Let's not talk about it.
No,
anymore.
the entire movie is basically Dharmesh Darshan like ogling Twinkle Khanna's body. Like the entire thing is like, like there's like no good reason why she can't even get a dupatta.
But this, Dharmesh Darshan or someone should do like a little video to remember their time shooting this movie. You know what I would call it? I would call it Memories of Mela. Because the whole film is about heaving bosoms or thinking about heaving bosoms or making bosoms heave one way or the other or hoping that bosoms heave. It's only about heaving bosoms. That's it. That's all it is. There's even a dialogue where that Nautanki wala says to Amir ki इस बार हीरोइनी है या किसी लौंडे को नारियल पहना के उसको हीरोइनी बनाओगे. Like literally.
Yeah.
This film is only about memories. And not the Punjabi memories, the English memories.
I just wanted to ask Pitu, which song did you think was my favorite?
The Durga Ma song.
No, I have to tell you, that song is definitely stuck in my head. Like, Durga hai meri maa, Ambe hai meri maa.
But Sujoy, like, now you've started it, you have to finish the whole thing. Like,
we want
Gopal, tum bhi gao. Rupa, Gopal, tum bhi gao.
Like, Tanvi asked me, is like sitting in that temple with like, her blouse buttoned up to her chin. Meanwhile, Twinkle is like walking around in a bra. Like, what the hell?
Different rules for Rupa though.
Because uski खूबसूरती उसका श्राप है.
Oh, you know that part where like Amir is like super into Cutlet and he's like, oh, you love me? Okay, let's get married. Like arranges the wedding. And then she's like, what the f*** are you doing? And he's like, we'll get married. And she's like, no, I'm full of hate. I only feel hate. And then he's like, what? And she's so like it's such an abrupt, like the writing makes no sense whatsoever.
And like Faisal is up, he wants to start whipping Rupa immediately. Like he takes off his belt and I'm gonna start whipping you immediately. Also, Rupa is kind of slow though, right? Like she's clearly wearing like a shadi ka joda and he's taking her towards a mandir. Like, what do you think is gonna happen, lady? You know? But I want to talk about quickly like about Dharmesh Darsan as a director, right? Because I don't think he likes women, like in general.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Because he's a funny director, right? He's seen like massive success, but he just kind of disappeared. Like he made Lutera, Raja Hindustani, Mela, Dhadkan, हाँ मैंने भी प्यार किया, बेवफा, and all of these movies are about helpless women that are totally lost in the world if they don't have the support of the man next to them. All 6 of those movies. Isn't that insane? To have like
and it doesn't matter what the character of the man is. Any layman can get laid with the best of the ladies. Yeah. That's what he's trying to tell.
Yeah, and it's also like तू किसी की बहन नहीं बन सकती, तू किसी का वो नहीं क्या बोलते बीवी औरत नहीं बन सकती. Like what are these like rules, like relationship that you're putting on equal level? Like how does that like work? Like, you know, one is different from the other, but it's like you cannot have a relationship with another. And even to the point in the final climactic scene, like Rupa has gone through all of this. Everybody gets to shoot Gujjar. They're like passing around the rifle like it's the hookah from the village. But even then, Rupa cannot shoot the rifle. She needs Amir's support to shoot Gujjar. Like, it doesn't make any bloody sense. And it's like, what is your problem with women, Dharmesh Darsan? I do not understand, like, how deeply embedded his hate is. Like, it's a lot about devaluation. It's a lot of objectification. It's also like what we were talking about in Dil, putting women in her place. Like, the thing is, like, it's funny because like Ayub Khan gets killed, right? And that's all that happens to a certain degree, but the whole movie is about Rupa, tu to barbad ho gayi, Rupa, tera kya hoga, Rupa, kaun sahara dega? It's like, what? Like, just move on with your life. And everywhere she goes, she's about to get raped by pretty much everybody. It's an insane vision of the world, and it's an insane vision of women in general, I find. Like, I don't understand.
And it's also even furthermore like disturbing that sort of judgment is being made through Rupa's inner monologue. Like she has to reevaluate her own life because her brother got killed off, you know? Like her life is done.
I feel like this is the movie from where like Imtiaz Ali got his, like his idea, like that line from Jab We Met. आप तो जानते हैं एक अकेली लड़की खुली तिजोरी की तरह होती है. Like, I think like he got it from like this film.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the intellectual twin of Dharmesh Darshan is Rakesh Roshan. Because Rakesh Roshan's movies are also exactly like this. Do you remember our favorite secretary from Koila?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet she went to this village only to learn her typing classes.
Yeah.
But at least like, you know, like in Khoon Bari Maang and everything, like Rekha like kills the guy that like tried to kill her and stuff. Yeah. Like in this one, like the whole like in the climax when they're fighting, like I was laughing because on the one hand like Faisal is like beating people up, on the other hand like Amir is beating up Gujjar, and then like in the middle you have like Twinkle going like, oh, what is happening here? Yeah. Oh, what is happening here? And at the end, when like Gujjar is like at her feet, she takes that moment to be like, and by the way, I love you, Amir.
Yeah.
You love me anymore, but I actually love you now. And I'm just like, what the lady?
Yeah. The worst time for a confession of love at that time. Like, what is Amir gonna even do, right? He's just gonna, like, yeah, sure, I'll marry her just to piss off Gujjar at that time. Like, you know, like. And also, there's like 5 people in this movie. Who else are you gonna marry? Like, he's clearly your bhai now. Like, I like also how she introduces both of them. It's like, you know, it's like, Ashik, Divana, Mehboob, Dost, Humsafar, Hamsaya. It's
like Faisal got bhai zone so quickly.
And there's like no other women in this village. Like he's bhai zone forever.
No, he's gonna get Aishwarya. No, he gets Aishwarya. So he had the last laugh, guys.
So we have to talk about Aishwarya's cameo.
I think this is Aishwarya's best role ever. Because there's not much of it. She doesn't get to talk, and she gets like a lot of like emotions. She looks really pretty, and she gets to eat oranges. Like, what else do you want, man?
And she gets Faisal.
Yeah. She gets Garibo ka Sunny Deol.
There was a time in Aishwarya's career that hooking up with Faisal cinematically was a viable solution. Like, can you imagine? Like, Faisal, Aishwarya. So, what is this?
So, by the way, in IMDb, Aishwarya's character's name is Champakali, who is the original village belle that was supposed to be in the drama, in the Nautanki.
Wow.
So I know, right?
Yeah. Amazing sleuthing, Sujoy. I give you points for that.
Also, so at this time in 2000, Aishwarya was doing Josh, Hamara Dil Aapke Paas Hai, Dhai Akshar Prem Ke, and Mohabbatein.
No, she was only doing special appearances. That's what I found. Like, she had like 3 cameos in the same year. But, I mean, I'm being unfair to Aishwarya. I have to kind of take back my statement that I was making for humorous purposes. This was really the start of her career. This is like the 2nd year she was acting, right? And I think 2nd or 3rd year maybe. And she like, Hum Dil De Chuke
Sanam and Tal was, that came before this.
Was it before this?
Yeah, that's like 97.
But I think... But I think, like with shooting, sometimes like it goes back and forth. So I'm not 100% sure when actually what happened. But she did get better. But it was a surprise to see her. I'd forgotten she was in this. But
this is also a trope, right? When there is some sort of a unbalanced triangle, then the guy who gets left off gets some sort of a consolation prize, like you had in Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na. Juhi Chawla appears from nowhere, and then you had like Dil Lagi, where Urmila gets paired off, so Preeti Zinta appears from somewhere else. So I think this was like a movie trope, right?
Yeah.
Juhi Chawla was a good one though. I really felt like good, like seeing her in that like cameo when she appeared.
Yeah.
There was one with Raveena Tandon too, no? Like I have like this vague memory of Raveena Tandon landing somewhere at the end.
But was it Raveena or was it Karishma?
Oh God. Yeah.
Are we going to discuss my favorite actor in the film?
Oh, we have not yet discussed your favorite actor, which is
my favorite
who's
actor
left?
in the film was Pakoda Singh.
Who's Pakoda Singh?
Pakkad Singh or Pakkad Singh?
Johnny Lever.
I thought Johnny Lever was just a delight, and I enjoyed every scene he was in, and I loved his dancing as well, and I think he's the real superstar.
Why do we not see more Johnny Lever nowadays? Like,
he's on TikTok though. He's on TikTok. I follow him.
Yeah, he's funny. His daughter is also quite funny with him. They did like a few TikTok things that I saw, right? Yeah. But I think that comedy uncle side hero, side comedian thing just doesn't work. Maybe. And I don't think Johnny Lever ever wanted to be like a dramatic actor. And I think a lot of these guys, like, even now when you think about like, Anupam Kher or something like that, he was also so long a comedy uncle and then he became like a serious actor. But Johnny Lever never pivoted, like he always just remained that kind of like comedy uncle kind of thing. So, and I think the movie actually gave him a much more of a role than I thought he would. Like, he's actually dancing with Faisal and he's shooting Gajjar and he's like, in the action scenes and all that. Like, it was more than I expected and probably a lot more than I wanted. But he's in there for sure.
By the way, the villain's name is Gujjar or Gajjar? Because I feel like we all keep moving back and forth.
I think it's Gujjar.
Okay. Because I also watched this movie today. like none of us.
Did you also have it like at the very end, like down to the wire? Ab to dekhna hi padega types.
I actually saw it with my breakfast because I was like, I'll just have to do it. And I'll be honest, like up until like last night, I was like, maybe I can just read the Wikipedia page and then watch it. And then today in the morning, I was like, nay, this is too much. I have to watch it.
But did you enjoy it though? There's so much joy to be had, right? Right, guys? I made the right choice, right?
Let's just say I am reevaluating my friendship with you, Sujoy, and I will let you know how I feel about Hamari Dosti in a few weeks.
Like, I gotta say, like, Sujoy, man, actually vibed with this movie just because I'm actually locked in and I can't go anywhere. Like, I've seen this movie a couple of times. Like, I've seen it like when it came out, I saw it once again thinking like itni bhi buri nahi ho sakti, and it was that bad. But this is the first time I kind of enjoyed it the most because I was kidnapped. I was like, there's no other entertainment to do, right?
There was like Stockholm syndrome seeping into it. Right?
Yeah. So next time there is a global epidemic where people are dying by the numbers, that's the time you should watch Mela. Plague.
Dharmesh Darshan is like, he's the director for the Plague. That's his name.
He is a Plague and he's for the Plague. But it's funny how he disappeared. Like, his last movie is like Aapki Khatir with like Priyanka and Akshay Khanna, I think. I get those confused. Akshay Khanna, right? The one with the hairpiece. But I don't remember watching that movie. I thought it was a Priyadarshan movie looking at the poster. So he just kind of disappeared. It's weird that both of these, like, I only recently discovered that there's Sunil Darshan and Dharmesh Darshan. I thought they were like the same guy. Like, I thought they made like the same movie, and then I realized that they have like a split filmography. I thought this guy also made Shakalaka Boom Boom. So I didn't know that. So it's funny that they just kind of disappeared, both these guys, right? They're not making any movies anymore. And all of these movies were pretty, as regressive as they were successful too, I think. So it's weird where they went.
I think my career ambition is to be Sunil Darshan. I think I've decided that, because imagine all you have to do, like, you're just lying around the house, you don't have anything to do, you're eating like, masala peanuts or something, and like you're on your second wine of the evening, and you're like, you just shoot off a text to someone, some filmmaker friend of yours, you just shoot off a text and you're like, you know what I think we should make? I think a movie should be made about these two like runaway outlaws, and one of them is like a total pothead and they live in San Francisco, and then they bump into this woman who happens to actually be a man, and then they rob banks. kya khayal hai? And that's it. The movie gets made and you get a story credit and you're like, story by Pitu. It's amazing. This is how I will contribute to the world.
By plaguing.
Yes, the world needs me.
So he made Ajay. That's why you like him, right? Like Sunil Darshan, he made Ajay.
What does that mean? He made Ajay.
It's got Sunny Deol in it.
Well, see, Sunny Deol, I like anything that Sunny Paji makes because it's Sunny Paji. So it's like, he's like a Hira. Aap Hira ko, you can throw a diamond on a coal mine or like a coal pit and it's still a diamond. So Sunny Paji's luster will never dim, na? Kisi bhi picture mein dal do.
Plus, he's made 3 movies with Bobby Deol.
DJ Bobby.
Well, now you know why you never hear about Sunil Darshan or Dharmesh Darshan. There's the answer that you were seeking, Asim. This is why.
And they really put a lot of money, like put a lot of faith in Uppan Patel, like apparently. Like I'm just going through IMDb, like these are a lot of wrong choices these people have made. So now I understand why they're not successful anymore.
Was Dhadkan a success? I have to ask. Was it like a hit movie?
Dhadkan was a huge hit, yeah.
Jesus.
This cultural cachet of Dhadkan has completely passed me by. Everybody talks about Dhadkan like it's this classic that people grew up with. I have barely watched it. Like I don't even remember anything about Dhadkan. Like
it is the most insufferable movie.
The soundtrack was such a big hit, right? And the story itself is the same as Wo Saat Din or Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam.
Yeah. Even the soundtrack, I don't know any songs. Like it's really like, this is one of the like black hole movies. I don't know anything about Dhadkan, but people keep talking about it.
Ye main aane nahi dunga. That's Sunil Shetty for you.
Oh God. I was waiting for
kisi ki ho jao, ye main aane nahi dunga.
I was waiting for an impression from you, man, since Pitu did hers.
But yeah, Tum Dil Ki Dhadkan Ho and Dil Ne Ye Kaha Hai Dil Se. Massive hits.
Yeah.
And also
even what's that other one Shilpa Shetty song? Na na karte pyar.
Right.
That was such a big hit.
And then Dulhe ka chehra Sehra something lagta hai. Dulhan ka to dil diwana lagta hai. Like she's fighting for Sunil Shetty. Of course she's diwani. But Asim, you have to watch that movie. It is the most unbelievable movie of all time. Every time it would come on TV, my cousin Tupu and I used to watch it. Like we must have seen it like 15 times, like in bits and pieces. But we only watched it for Sunil Shetty. So you will have like Shilpa Shetty with Akshay, and this was Akshay in his prime. Like I'm not an Akshay Kumar fan, but he looked hot in this film. Okay, so she is looking at him, and her face is tearing up because he's not good enough for her. And then in her flashback, Sunil Shetty will come with his mullet and his gande clothes and his pained expression, and he'll go, and I'm like, why? He sounds like in his death throes. Why are you pining for this?
Pitu, there's no kink shaming on this podcast. If your kink is Sunil Shetty, your kink is Sunil Shetty. You can't do anything.
They both are hairy, right? Akshay and Sunil are both almost as equally hairy as one another.
No, Akshay Kumar is a hairy man. Sunil Shetty is a hairy bear. There is a difference.
True.
Okay, that's another thing I don't know. Like I didn't know Sunil Shetty is a hairy man. How are they on the Anil Kapoor ranking? Like Anil Kapoor is king,
Anil
right?
Kapoor is superlative because Sunil Shetty is a man who has hair, but Anil Kapoor is hair that has a man. It's like भगवान ने अनिल कपूर को जब बनाया तब भगवान ने बोला अब ना मैं बाल बनाऊंगा और उसने बाल बनाए और फिर उसने वो बालों को एनिमेट किया फिर अनिल कपूर बना. So he's like a Frankenstein experiment that भगवान did.
Remember when Anil Kapoor, because we all grew up with him, right? He takes off his shirt and he's still wearing a sweater, right? That kind of vibe. But remember
Loafer. I remember the movie Loafer. Like he had back hair and everything, and everybody's like, "What the hair can exist there?"
And then he had Musafir, right? And he got everything waxed waxed. And I was like, how painful must that waxing have been? Like, दुनिया का wax खत्म हो गया होगा. Like, Brazil से लोग मंगाए थे. Like, it was like...
I think one of the things about like watching Bollywood is like we've all had that one moment where we saw Anil Kapoor shirtless for the first time and all of us just went, oh shit. That's what unites that's what unites all of us together.
But I think the problem with our generation is also that we all saw him way too early because we all saw Wo Saat Din and he's nahaying in that one. So we were like, oh my god, this is masculinity, and it screwed us all up.
So the first time I saw him was shirtless was that scene from what is that? The Sridevi, Feroz Khan, Anil Kapoor, Dimple Kapadia movie.
Oh, I love that movie, Janbaz.
Joshile.
Janbaz. And there's that scene where like he and Dimple Kapadia are having sex in that hayloft.
Yeah, in the
Do you
barn.
remember? Yeah. And it literally looks like Dimple Kapadia is being eaten by a bear. That's what it looks like. And I remember like being a child and like watching it and being like, oh my god, what is happening to Dimple Kapadia?
To Dimple ko bachao.
Someone should make a parody movie where they remake like Revenant, and there should be like India ka Leonardo DiCaprio Amir, and then the bear will be played by Anil Kapoor.
Oh, that's another like Amir short joke because he can just fit inside Anil. Oh,
I think we cannot top this part of the movie, so of the podcast. So I think we should like put a wrap on it. And unless we have anything else we want to talk about, hairy chests or Mela. Anything else you wanna? Anything?
I just want to point out that in one of the 5 or unending iterations of the Mela song, I did hear Neel Nitin Mukesh's voice at one point, and it made me very happy.
I noted it down in my notes that this will make you happy. Like it's a note in it. The only problem is I don't know his dad's name, so I just called him NNM's dad. Is here, Pitu will be happy.
His dad's name is Nitin Mukesh. His grandfather's name is Mukesh. So if
wait. My head just spun. What?
If you know the name Neel Nitin Mukesh, you can basically trace his ancestry like 3 generations.
Yeah, it's like Jenga or Lego. It's like the first block is Mukesh, the second block is Nitin Mukesh, then the third block is Neel Nitin Mukesh. It's like that.
Wow.
So I was very happy. I was making breakfast. I like downed 2 mugs of tea, and then I was like pottering around the kitchen getting bread and whatnot. And suddenly I heard Neel Nitin Mukesh's voice, and I just like whirled around in joy. So that
he got like 2 lines, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not a successful singer though, right? Neel Mukesh, Mukesh.
Excuse me. He does concerts in Vadodara and Balsara, Gujarat. Okay.
And now all I can remember is him doing that weird pelvic thrust thing where he's like shaking his tone around. That's the only thing that I can think of. Oh God, thanks Pitu.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome.
This was fun, guys. Pitu, where can people find you online? When are you starting again with Kapow with Pitu?
So I should hopefully start with Kapow in like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And they can find me on Instagram at Pitu Sultan, and on Instagram and YouTube at Kapow with Pitu. So that's Kapow _with_Pitu.
Amrita, where can people find you online?
On Twitter at AmritaIQ.
Sujoy?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at 9E3K.
And I'm at Asim Bernie. You can drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. Oh crap, we were supposed to read those emails that we got from our listeners. We'll do that next time. We need to do that next time. We just got Pitu totally derailed us with this podcast. We were not, and the idea was these were going to be shorter podcasts, and this is not the case at all. Like, this was so much fun. I hope people are enjoying this. Drop us an email, subscribe, rate, let other people know, and guys, stay inside, wash your hands, and be safe.
Podcast for acting. Girl, you're much